The United States has a fundamental interest. It controls all the oceans of the world. No power has ever done that. Because of that, we get to invade people and they don't get to invade us. It's a very nice thing. And is the one that Ronald Reagan adopted toward Iran and Iraq. He funded both sides so they would fight each other and not fight us. This was cynical. It was certainly not moral. It worked. And this is the point. The United States cannot occupy Eurasia. But we do have the ability to, first, support various contending powers so they concentrate in themselves with political support, some economic support, military support, advisors. The primordial interest of the United States, over which for a century we have fought wars, the First, Second Cold War, has been the relationship between Germany and Russia, because united they are the only force that could threaten us, and to make sure that that doesn't happen.
When a country becomes of fundamental strategic importance to the world's leading power, able to make massive economic concessions and technology transfers, that has a real consequence. Strategic relationships with the United States, not poverty relationships with the United States, but places where the United States badly needs a country, transforms its economy, particularly when you have a disciplined and capable workforce, which the Poles have. And especially when you are sandwiched between two countries that may well cooperate and for whom you have no great love. I mean, if you ask a Pole about whether you prefer a Russian or a German, they'll say an American. To go hand in hand. And therefore, the United States either concedes the possibility of a German-Russian entente, which would have geopolitical implications for the United States that would be substantial, or the United States has a relationship with Poland. Clearly, it was the decision of the Bush administration to have that strategic relationship with Poland. The Obama administration is now reconsidering it. Whether or not there's a missile defense system or not is really inconsequential. Poland is a critical country.
For the Russians is, will they retain a buffer zone that's at least neutral? Or will the West penetrate so far in the Ukraine that they're 70 miles away from Stalingrad and 300 miles away from Moscow? For Russia, the status of Ukraine is an existential threat. And the Russians cannot let go. For the United States, in the event that Russia holds onto the Ukraine, where will it stop? Therefore, it's not an accident that General Hodges, who's been appointed to be blamed for all of this, is talking about prepositioning troops in Romania, Bulgaria, Poland, and the Baltics. This is the intermarium, from the Black Sea to the Baltic, that Pilsudski dreamt of. This is the solution for the United States.
He insisted that the Bush administration, this is Bush 1, agreed that, the words they used, that NATO would not expand 1 inch to the east. Okay, that gives Russia kind of a buffer zone. And that was agreed upon. It's a pledge by the United States. Gorbachev also proposed a nuclear weapons-free zone from the Arctic down to the Mediterranean, which would again reduce the threat of accidental conflict or some other kind of conflict. The U.S. never even responded to that, as far as I know, and it never happened. All right, then Clinton came in. One of Clinton's first acts was to violate that pledge and expand NATO to the east. Expanding NATO to the east is just a seriously aggressive act, which significantly threatens Russia, so of course they reacted by expanding offensive military capacity. Then Bush came along with his aggressive militarism and it expanded even further. And now it's expanded still further by Obama, by insisting on putting systems in Eastern Europe.
To which we don't have the answer is, what will Germany do? So the real wild card in Europe is that as the United States builds this cordon sanitaire, not in Ukraine, but to the west, and the Russians try to figure out how to leverage the Ukrainians out, We don't know the German position. How does this play out? Well, the U.S. has already put its cards on the table. It is the line from the Baltics to the Black Sea. For the Russians, their cards have always been on the table. They must have at least a neutral Ukraine, not a pro-Western Ukraine. Belarus is another question.
And with more states facing common challenges, we have the chance and a profound responsibility to exercise American leadership to solve problems in concert with others. That is the heart of America's mission in the world today. Now, some see the rise of other nations and our economic troubles here at home as signs that American power has waned. Others simply don't trust us to lead. They view America as an unaccountable power, too quick to impose its will at the expense of their interests and our principles. But they are wrong. The question is not whether our nation can or should lead, but how it will lead in the 21st century.